I'm gonna try to make this 6 minutes or less, but every time I've given this speech, it goes over a little bit. So my speech is, as you can see, about racial profiling. And so I just want to ask a few questions before I get started with my presentation. How many people, you don't have to be ashamed, because I've done all this too. How many of you have walked into like a Mexican restaurant with your friends and then you all just joke around and be like, oh, it's probably illegal immigrants cooking on food in the day? If you've done that, raise your hand. You don't have to be ashamed. Yeah, I've done it. Or like if you go to like a big city like Louisville or Cincinnati or something, you're just walking down the street to visit an attraction or go to a restaurant and you see a black person walking towards you, how many of you get kind of scared that, hey, this person might rob me? Yeah, I've done it too, and I'm sure most of you have too. But it's not our fault. Racial profiling and stereotypes are just wired into our brain as we're growing up, and we don't realize it. It's in the media that we watch, news stations, movies, video games, books, it doesn't matter. In today's society, people don't really think about, hey, you shouldn't do that, that's not right, because not all people are like that. The definition of racial profiling by American Civil Liberties Union is racial profiling refers to the discriminatory practice of targeting individuals of suspicion of crime based on an individual's race, religion, or national origin. So basically what it's saying is, because you see in the media or somebody tells you, hey, all black people are criminals because some guy got caught stealing and he was black, or hey, the American government shipped off a Mexican person because he was illegal. That means all Mexicans that live in the United States are illegal. That's not the case. A real famous case I'm sure you all know of is Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin was a 17-year-old boy who lived in Sanford, Florida. And he went to a local 7-Eleven one night to get him a bag of Skittles and a soft drink. As he was walking back home, the security guard of the subdivision that Trayvon was walking in saw Trayvon and thought he was suspicious because he was wearing a hood on and obviously because of his skin color. George Zimmerman was the security guard. He called 911 to inform them that there was a suspicious person walking around in the neighborhood and that he was going to pursue him. The 911 dispatcher told him not to pursue him, that the authorities, the police officers would take care of it. But George Zimmerman didn't listen. He pursued Trayvon Martin and shot and killed Trayvon Martin that night. It's really sad. He says that Trayvon Martin looked suspicious and he considered Trayvon a thug, and he thought that Trayvon had a weapon on him. That's why he pulled his and shot Trayvon. And then when they found Trayvon's body, this was all that Trayvon had in possession. So George Zimmerman, it caused huge outrage in America. George Zimmerman was charged with first-degree murder and manslaughter, and was found not guilty for both of those charges. This obviously caused huge outrage for all Americans, especially African Americans, and that really sparked the civil rights movement again after this, and also started the Black Lives Matter program I'm sure you all know about. And talking about racial profiling in the media, I don't know if you all have seen these movies, but Green Mile is a great example of racial profiling. Basically, if you haven't watched the movie, it was either two or one girl was murdered, and they found him with the girl's dead body, and they automatically assumed it was him because of obviously the way he was built and his skin color. They didn't question him or take him to trial or anything. They just sent him straight to jail and put him on death row. And as you're watching the movie, you start to realize that they labeled him as a monster, like a thug who killed these innocent girls. And then as the police officers, correctional officers realized, hey, he's not like a monster. He was actually an angel sent from heaven. If somebody was experiencing pain, he would help them get rid of the pain, and it would cause pain on himself. The Green Book, this movie came out this year, well, 2018. It was basically about this musician, I think in the 1960s or 70s, and he was real high up class, African American, had tons of money, lived in New York City, and he was going on tour down in the South, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. And up in the northern states, he was respected as a musician because he was real famous. But when he went down to the South, he didn't get that same respect. He couldn't eat in the same restaurants as the whites. Even shows in the movie, one of the places who even asked him to come perform, they wouldn't let him use the bathroom in the house. He had to go outside in the outhouse to use the bathroom when he was supposed to be their guest of honor. And then Fruitville Station, that's a movie based on a real case about Oscar Grant. He was an African American, obviously, and him and his friends and his lover on New Year's Day went out to go celebrate. They were on a train and ended up, the train had some kind of fight on it or something. And so the train had to stop, and the police officers came, and they saw him, his lover, and two of his friends got away, but the rest of them got handcuffed and were thrown around, beat up, and they didn't get to explain why they're being treated that way. Oscar, him trying to ask the police officers what they did, why are they doing this to him. They had him on handcuffs, they shoved him stomach on the ground, and if you're interested in it, you can go watch a video. It's terrible to watch, but people need to be informed about this stuff. There were 5 officers around Oscar Grant. One of them had his knee in Oscar's neck, and one of the cops that's behind Oscar, holding him down, pulls his gun and shoots Oscar right in the back. When asked why he did this, the officer said that he feared for his life, and he thought it was his taser, and he was trying to contain Oscar Grant. And what people can't understand is, why were you in fear of your life when there was 5 other officers around? One of them had his knee in Oscar's neck, and Oscar was handcuffed laying on his stomach. That officer got charged with murder and manslaughter. He did get charged not of second-degree murder, but of manslaughter, and only served 11 months in prison. And then obviously, I don't know if you all have heard about the little boy in the middle, but that caused all kinds of just people going crazy about it too, because I don't know if you can read the hoodie or not, but it says the coolest monkey in the jungle. I'm sure most of you know that black people, some people usually call them monkeys. It happened last year with the Corbin basketball player, actually calling the Knox Central player a monkey too. And so that caused all kinds of people to freak out about it. And H&M's actually who produced that hoodie, and they ended up taking it off their website and creating an apology about it. This is a YouTube video.
world. So I want to look today at some data. Okay, let's begin with the criminal justice system. So last year, the U.S. Sentencing Commission released a report showing that African American men's prison sentences were on average 20% longer than white men's prison sentences when they were convicted of similar crimes. In fact, in the past decade, the racial gap in sentencing has been widening. Also, black people and white people use illegal drugs at almost identical rates, but black people are 3 times more likely to be arrested for drug possession. Also,
so I don't know if y'all can read this chart or not, but he presented it in his video. And basically what it is, it shows all the different types of drugs that Americans use in America. The dark bar is blacks and the lighter green one is whites. And as you can see, black and white people use illegal drugs about at the same rate. But when you look at how many whites and blacks are arrested, obviously you can see that more blacks are arrested than whites. And I don't have this included, but on the website that I got this data from, it says, although black people are much more likely to be sent to jail for drug possession, they're not more likely to use drugs. A 2009 report from Human Rights Watch found black people are much more likely to be arrested for drugs. In 2007, black people were 3.6 times more likely to be arrested for drugs than white people. So basically what that's saying is, even though blacks and whites use drugs at the same rate, if not, more white people use it than black people, more black people are being locked up for it and for longer sentences than white people are. And so basically, in conclusion, racism as a whole is just ignorance. I don't know why someone feels the need to hate somebody based on the color of their skin. When I look at all of you, I don't see any difference between you and me. Just because, I mean, I'm only half black too, but I still get treated like I'm full black. In high school, I still got called the N-word and had awful things said to me. So it doesn't matter just how much black I have in me, I still get treated the same way. And so basically all I'm saying is, if you can, because I'm also writing about this in a paper in English class, I'm trying to stop racial profiling and just racism as a whole to be over with. It won't take like 6 months and be gone. It's going to take generations, because racism is a taught behavior. No child is born to hate another race. So basically, their parents are teaching these kids to hate somebody based on the color of their skin. And so as parents soon to be, we have to teach our kids that it's not okay to hate somebody based on their color of their skin. And if we can pass on this message to other parents, I have a feeling that racism may be a thing of the past. So that's all I have.